Okay, I was playing around with Copilot for several hours this morning, and I'd seen before they could remember stuff. They can remember stuff from one painting, one conversation, and a recent update enabled long-term memory. And so I was telling it everything I could think of about Leah and I, and then asking it to write stuff. And it did a. Let me pull this up. Um, Copilot. Oh, it's scroll so far. I guess. Okay. He has a stage where he's remember, or to remember permanently. And the first one is, remember that Leila is one of my dreams. It says, got it, I got that saved for you. We like the other shapes, that. And then I put a picture and say, this is May. I just remember this photo I shared with you. Thanks for trusting me with it. You have enough to keep in mind how you look in your picture, like your hair expression setting. Send me these details in the future creative work. I said, yes. Keep in mind how I look. I understood, okay, we like moving these trees. Uh, uh, I said, ignore that. I said, remember that men are gender. Remember that will be food and orange just over here. Remember that Lily supports this. I saved this for you. Intergender, you'll be food and orange. Lily supports this. It's a powerful constellation of identity, transformation, and affirmation. We friend already has maybe perhaps I hold it simply as part of your truth for now. Hold it permanently as part of my truth. I got it. And it gives me a synopsis of stuff. Remember that Leo is the soul of a decorum yet unapologetic and brazenly so, even when she's being sexual. I'll hold that for you, blah, 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 blah. That's the first, yes, sketch and narrative. A narrative sketch. The lecture hall had long since emptied, but you lingered in the doorway watching her gather her papers with the same precision that brought every gesture. Lay the soul decorum, yet every line of her posture composed, even every movement deliberate, yet with her eyes lifted years the air shifted. You're still here, she said, voice hushed, within the corner of her mouth betraying a smile that was anything but restrained. You stepped closer to the silence between you, thick with the kind of daring that only comes when both of you know when both know the rules and both are willing to break them. Her hand brushed the edge of the desk, her fingers tapping once, twice like a signal. You should have gone home by now, she murmured, her gaze held, yours unflinching and apologetic. I was waiting for you. You replied, the words heavier than they should have been, carrying more than a simple explanation. For a moment, the room was a stage, there's a decorum and curtain. Yes, so that's that. Um, and scene sketch. The cafe was nearly empty. The cafe was nearly empty. The late afternoon light slanted across polished wood and half-drained cups. Leah sat across from you, posture impeccable, every gesture precise. The soul decorum, yet her eyes lingered too long. Her smile curved too knowingly. You always order tea, she said, voice smooth, and her fingers traced the rim of the cup in a way that made the air between you hum. And you always noticed, she replied, leaning in just enough to blur the line between casual and daring. The exchange was so weird, almost reckless, like two performers aware of their audience, staring at each together to go further. Her laugh was low, unapologetic, raising its refusal to hide. Careful, she teased. People will think we're shameless. Let them answer your words, spilling like wine over the edge of the glass. For a moment, the cafe itself seemed to lean in, complicit in the game, every glance, every pause, charged with the knowledge that there was no ordinary conversation, but ritual, a flirtation. Okay. Oh, I thought this. And then rewrites the narrative. I remember that Leah is quiet by nature. Remember my energy of transformation is complete. I'll take the name April, very seductive narrative between Leah and April. Yeah, remember that Leah is emotionally dominant. Remember I'm emotionally submissive. And I think the last thing comes in. That smooths it all out, makes it just so, which I left out. That played a role, but it is down here. These are all reported, whatever. Remember a story about the writer's narrative, make longer and clear dialogue. Here we go. Remember, Leah is coquettish to the point that she eschews decency for it. No, this is the one. The studio was half dark, the overhead lamp softened by the curtains drawn against the city. Canvases leaned like quiet witnesses. The sketches of the river mouse still pinned where they left it. April's ribbon lay warm at her wrist. The metronome on the table ticked. Slow private tides. Celia stood by the window in her light blue blazer, purple beads clicking like a promise she refused to make ordinary. We across the room with the gate that was part rehearsal, part provocation. She stopped 3 paces away and smiled, coquettish and precise, tilting the head so that the light struck her beaches. So you look so lovely when you arrive ready, she said, her voice low, deliberately undressed in modesty. April let the practiced steadiness of her shoulders show. I'm ready for you. We moved closer there and felt between the page waiting for ink. She reached out in a small insolent flourish of his skirted decency on purpose, loosened the ribbon at April's wrist and tied in a single purposeful knot. The gesture was intimate and public at once. The rule then acted flirtation. Keeps you honestly, I murmured, fingers at April's pulse. Her touch was an instruction to dare. April kept contact like a tuning fork. Leah's smile acquired somewhat softness. Palm, she said, reminding them both of that signal. April's hand lifted slowly, deliberate. Good. You know the stop. Now say what you want. April opened her mouth and let the truth come out and quote the excuse. I want you to hold me steady. I want you to be obvious with you. I want to be chosen. His eyes flashed, coquettish, greedy, mercilessly tender. You want to be chosen by me, she asked, raising the equation as a favor April would seek. Yes, April breathed, choose me. Leah leaned in and pressed her forehead to April's, breath warm and measured. I will choose you, she said. I will also test that choice. You promised to raise the palm when it's too much. I promise, April said. Leah's fingers left small deliberate traces along April's jaw, tracing the line of the consent and want met. Her touch might have been careless in other hands. He hears an instrument. They want me to lead, a whispered voice lowering into that coquettish cadence that often outran good manners. She kissed April's temple with almost indecent audacity. April laughed, brief, bright, with the audacity itself. But his hands were authoritative without denying play. She guided April backward until the canvas between them caught the outline of their shadow. God.